So let's now talk about some color theory. So I'm using a tool called Adobe Cooler, and I'll put a link to this in the notes. It's a really great tool to get color palettes and kind of see visually how color theory works. So if we go down the line over here, so we have analogous colors, and they are next to each other. So if you look at the color wheel, they are next to each other on the color wheel. So you can see yellow, green, blue, purple, orange. They have a lower contrast, so you can see the contrast between these colors here is not much, but work together because they have common undertones. So they are part of that same family. So you can see here, as you move that out, as you move this main color around, you can see that they stay next to each other on the color wheel. And so the next one are monochromatic. And these monochromatic colors are colors with variations in tint and shade. So the difference between tint and shade, tint means lighten by adding white. Right? So you add white and it gets lighter. Shade means darkening by mixing black in there. So you put black in there, it gets darker. There's little variety in these colors, but they can use to create simple, clean, and elegant color scheme with not that much contrast. So if you're going for that really kind of soft look, you might want to use a monochromatic color scheme. So you can see here, if your brand's personality, if there's a lot of red or orange and stuff, you can look and see here, like what are the different shades that I can use in that color palette. The next one is triad. So triad are three colors equally spaced around the color wheel. So you can see the yellow here, the blue here, and the red here. So they are not as contrasting as complementary colors, but look a bit more balanced. Primary colors and secondary colors are both examples of triadic color schemes. So if you look at the primary color wheel that you may have seen when you were in grade school, these are the examples of it. They're definitely far away from each other. Just about as much contrast as you can get when you're working with the color wheel. Next one up is complementary. So complementary colors are two colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, such as blue, purple, and orange. They provide maximum color contrast and work particularly well when a warm color is paired with a cool color. So you can see here if red, the red over here, which is be considered a warm color, is then paired with this green over here, which is a cooler color. Next up is compound. So compound colors are colors containing a mixture of the three primary colors. All the browns, khakis, and earth colors are compound colors. So you can see as you play with this, you can get that kind of khaki here. You really have to play with it to get some good colors here, but there are some good patterns that you can develop just by kind of spinning this around and finding some of the palettes that work really. Like that's really nice. It's really got that earthy kind of tone to it. And then the last one is shades. So these are just mixes with black. So you take one base color right here, and then you just mix black into it. And this is really great when you're doing web design stuff where you need to say you have a background and you need to make the if you're creating a table there and you want to have just like a bit more contrast in the table, then you can see here that like what would be like just a little bit darker to stand out a bit more.